Just ahead on the ComaCast, Amazon is lobbying the federal government to legalize weed. Also, there's a group called Moms for Liberty. They're demanding a school censor a book because of a drawing of a seahorse that it's, quote, too sexy. Also, the Beijing Olympics is on course to have stricter COVID-19 rules than the Tokyo Olympics. And there's several things that have the internet buzzing, including, it's me, Chris Pratt. Yeah, Chris Pratt in Super Mario's. Also, House that inspired The Conjuring, it's on sale for $1.2 million. Also, there was some drama on The View today. Two hosts had to leave the set during the live show because they tested positive for COVID-19. And, well, this is kind of strange, but Anderson Cooper says that his late mom, Gloria Vanderbilt, offered to carry his baby at 85. All of that and more on the ComaCast Live, starting now.
Podcasting from the Lone Star State in Southern California, you're listening to the Coma Podcast with Cody and Matt.
Hey, everybody, and welcome.
Well, that was a surprise. I was sitting here trying to, tweet us out and get everything done. I had less time than I thought.
Time goes by fast when you don't want it to. And when you want it to go by fast, it goes on and on and on and on. Everybody, hey, and welcome. We thank you for joining us. Of course, if you're watching a replay, thank you. If you're watching us live, thank you even more. We do this every Friday at 5 o'clock, so you can join us on Facebook, on Twitter, on YouTube, and on Twitch. So basically, wherever you want to be, we are. So you don't have to get another social media platform, although those are all the basics. So I'm so excited. I sat down today to start working on the show this afternoon after I'd ran some errands, and it started raining here. It got really gloomy and dark at 2 o'clock. I had to turn lights on in the room and everything because it was almost
amazing.
Nighttime. And then it started raining. So that is so rare here, especially in September. Usually we have to wait till December, January, February for it to rain. So for us to now have rain, and there was thunder, and it went on for 2 or 3 hours. So I'm glad. And Justin barely got done mowing before the rain started coming down.
Oh, that takes me back.
So everything now has a fresh water, cleaned off. Keith, hi. Keith is here. Hi, guys. The faithful are here with you. We do appreciate those faithful ones that are here no matter what. Matt, I know that this week, everybody knows if you're new, although I'm sure everybody who's here is not new. But if you're new, Matt is in nursing school, and so he's been busy doing nursing stuff and researching, or not. I guess you're researching stuff and learning it and putting it in your mind. Don't you wish sometimes that you could just in the future maybe there's a microchip and you could just insert it and then just download all of them, everything you need to know like that.
I already got my vaccine, Cody, so I already.
Oh, sorry.
God. Ugh. Oh God, God damn that thing. Oh Lord.
That is true. I forgot about that, Matt. You already have the.
I already have my microchip.
Oh my God! But it was exciting, kind of exciting news for you this week, or a relief.
Yeah. So in almost all my classes, there's basically 4 tests, a final. Well, I think the 4th test is sometimes the final, depending which class. And you have to have a 75 average on the test, as well as a 75 average in your class. And if you do not, you cannot continue to program. You have to repeat those classes. So you can end up passing all of them but one, but of the 5 classes, several of them are co-requisites of each other. So if you ace one and not the other, you're repeating both. So the first 75 is passing. And historically, the first test is usually a poor performance because it's a very different style of questioning. It's very intense. It's a lot of it. Hence, every time I've appeared for the last 2 or 3 weeks, I probably look like I've been resurrected. And so, it's not the lighting. It's literally, that's just who I am now. But I came through it with an 82 on one and an 82.5 on the other. And so I scored above the class average after review was 76. and I think 76 in both classes. I had 2 tests in the same day. I have 3 theory classes on Tuesdays, and there were tests in 2 of them. My next round of tests on October 19th is a midterm in one and then 2 exams in the other. So I'll have tests in all 3. And also the next day after this, I had what's called a skills checkoff, where something I've learned, I have to be tested on it, and you and a lab partner perform it in front of the teacher. One of the teachers is if they're not there, and my whole class, all of us at least, I think all of us were present. My teacher only has about 11 of us, or 11 to 12 of us, and we all scored hundreds. We all have been practicing really hard. Test was really hard day. I did see there was a lot of actual tears, and not like celebratory tears. This is crushing. If you score too low, I mean, yeah, doing bad is one thing, but if you score too low, it really makes it harder to recover even with 3 or 4 more tests. If you screw up 2 in a row, you can see how it becomes even more of a challenge. So a lot of people, I think, had kind of the shit scared out of them. So, we joke around about it, but this is very serious. It's, this is an end game. And so you really want your classmates to do well. And we all support each other. It's a very small group of about 100 to 110 of us in total. That's it. That's our entire program for us. So we have all shared notes, everything we can find. You cannot do this by yourself. You absolutely cannot. And so somebody did come out with an A on both. And one of my study partners actually did very well. She got A's on both. So it was kind of like high five moment. So it was an exciting week. It was a relieving week because in the testing room, you have to take it in a computer lab. So all 100 plus of us were packed into it's 2 computer labs that are joined by a single door.
Mm-hmm.
So all your professors are in there. And there was some kind of issue. So we're all stuck in there probably for 10, 15 minutes before we could all start. And as you can imagine, with all 100 computers running and all 100 plus people in there, plus instructors, it was hot.
A little warm.
And we're all packed next to each other. And a lot of us have not interacted with all of the others. We haven't met everybody yet. So you're in there with all new people. It was very hot. It was very uncomfortable. And we had to do that twice. The second round the first round was at like 8:15 in the morning. So, you're tired, you're exhausted, you're stressed. You've been studying for days. But after that one, I went back to a classroom and I sat and read my notes and tried to decompress. I got real food and took my test at 1. And I was better prepared for the first test. So my initial score was 76. So I skidded over the line and I said, yay. 3 of the questions were bombed by the entire program. And so they were determined because they weren't really fitting in they weren't about anything that we tested on because they are drawn at random. So they deleted those 3 questions and gave everybody 6 points back, which put me up to an 82. Yay. So when I saw a 76 on my very first test, I went, yay, I passed. But oh shit, that's the one I was best prepared for. Oh, so when I was going to 1 o'clock, I was worried. I mean, for very good reason. I mean, we walked out of there and there were students that were just gray-faced. I mean, they just literally went to their cars and sobbed. And, your heart hurts for them because everybody works really hard. So that was Tuesday. That was my Tuesday. And then Wednesday was the skills check off. And they said, okay, well, you're done. You guys have the rest of the day to do whatever you want. Yeah, my butt sat right down and continued the next week's assignments and just picked right back up because that is the only way I will be successful. I have driven to campus or been taken to campus every single day that I could deal with it and sat there for 6 to 8 hours, either reading or studying, spending time with my classmates, just trying to immerse myself in the world of it. And which means I have not been overly interactive with anything but nursing.
I think and we want you to be successful.
I literally woke up, I think, thinking about heart and lung sounds. I think Monday or Tuesday morning, it was either the morning before or the morning of my testing that I literally woke up thinking about listening to, because I know what all the different sounds are now. So try to differentiate them and where they are. I had a dream that I was listening and trying to find them all and counting them. And
I volunteer to help you out if you need to listen to.
It gets personal. So when we practice on each other, nothing invasive, but when you're doing a physical assessment on somebody, you're listening to everything about them. So medical information about this other person. What their pulse sounds like, what their blood pressure is like. When you physically assess someone from head to toe, you have to know each other kind of well. Yeah. And that's next week, head to toe. Great.
One of the exciting things, everybody, is Matt can be in some scrubs, and we'll have to get him some really fun designer scrubs. And so I only bring this up. So this guy on TikTok, we should, right? You need one for scrubs. So this guy on TikTok, after I show the clip, you're gonna know what the whole purpose of the TikTok is, and many of his TikToks are this, but he has really fitted TikToks or fitted scrubs, which means they can be difficult to take off. Well, everybody, here it is.
So I got new scrubs.
It's purple, but
we'll
have to deal with it.
These are figs, the gray ones, and they're really comfortable. But like I have said many times before, it's still difficult to take off. Like I can't do the arm thing, so I have to like this and pull out, or go like this. But it's still difficult.
It's so difficult.
I don't know what to tell you.
I'll have to fix the coloring so you can see. Basically, he shows off his abs. But,
yeah, I saw. I figured out what was happening. I'm.
I mean,
so I do not look like that in or out of my scrubs. Just saying. Yeah, I do not. But I will be getting to take them for a test run starting October 3rd. So we usually do clinicals every Sunday for 4 hours in the hospital. Mm-hmm. That because of COVID, because the wards keep turning into COVID wards, because 9,000 Texans have died in August and September of COVID. They've broken us up into groups, and my group goes October 3rd, every Sunday from October 3rd for 3 days, and it's 3 10 or 11-hour shifts or something like that. So we'll do all 30, 40 hours of clinical time in that time. You have a set amount of time that has to come from being in the hospital for your first semester, and the rest of the time comes from being in the lab. From when you learn skills and you get to practice them in a safer spot. I'm learning how to do medications too, and how to do injections, and I do know how to do that now. So, get that checked off in a week.
Look at that. Matt is just learning so much already.
Yeah. Soon I'll be able to, I'm going to also be learning how to catheterize and do nasogastric tubes. Those are the ones that
Okay, I'm not going to volunteer for that.
Yeah? Oh, come on, Cody.
No, it's about, I'm not volunteering for those.
It's really about like everything. You can't just volunteer for one and not the other. It'll be fun.
Again, I saw on TikTok this guy. It's his account, and he posted this, and it's like 4 TikToks, and they're just like a continuation. It went on and on so long. He's older. I don't know, maybe like our age, early 30s. Anyway, he was gonna get the vaccine, the COVID vaccine. I guess he was just getting it, maybe, or he just now posted it. Anyway, so the nurse is there, and it goes on and on and on. And he just he doesn't want to get the shot, and he's afraid he's going to get the shot. And she goes through all this thing, and his mom is filming it, which makes the whole thing just crazy. I don't even know really where they were. It must have been like a smaller town, just like some small little town clinic where everybody knows everybody. But he did finally get it. And so I was excited for him for that. But what was crazy about it is he had tattoos and he had piercings, and it's like, this is not gonna hurt that much. Just close your eyes. It
didn't hurt at all. I hardly noticed. It was the least painful shot I've ever had, and I've had 20 surgeries. Is a lot of shots, y'all. Not to mention, I've had every vaccine in my adult life just last year, and I remember getting them all as a kid. because I moved to Florida. And Florida, of all places, I was behind on my vaccines and had to have them all before what? I even walked into 5th grade. I would much rather have worn a mask. Because that MMR, it was the intramuscular one, like it was like at an angle down into my arm. They don't do it that way anymore that I know of, but well, that's not how my other ones were done. But it was like down like at an angle into my bicep. And that one I straight up cried. Straight up cried. 10-year-old Matt, that was it. I had the 1-2 shoulder or shoulder bicep, and the bicep one I cried. Oh my god. I cried. So my grandmother actually took me for ice cream after.
Well,
Yep.
that's good. It's always like when you were little, you always, or a lot of times, most people
Ice
got
cream
like
fixes a
some kind of
lot.
little treats. Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the things, since Matt has been so busy with school, is sometimes I'm recording interviews for our podcast episodes, and we have a really exciting one coming up. It's going to be coming up in October, but I sat down
That's right. Oh my
without
gosh.
Matt. I sat down with David, and we had a discussion on things. And Matt was nowhere around, so we talked
That's cool.
all things
I was
about
actually
Matt.
waiting. So I was actually waiting for David at school. I was pretty much done. He said he was done with work, and I was like, "So did you already record with Cody, or are you doing that after we get back?" And he goes, "Oh." Because obviously I'm used to you. I know that at 7 o'clock I'm just gonna log in, or 7 o'clock my time. I don't have to confirm. I just log in. I didn't think to tell you that you need to reach out to him and confirm, because David and I do not share conversations hardly ever, as you have probably figured out. But anybody that knows us well knows that we don't do that. So if you want one of us to do something for or with the other, or send a message, you have to say so. You have to like. So then I heard nothing for like 45 minutes, and I was like, okay, I'm done, and this is after being at school for like a solid 30 something hours, between Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And I'm like, he's like, do you want to stay longer? I'm like, no, please come get me. It was like an hour after that he got there, because I can't leave at between 4 and 5:30 because of traffic. So there was that. Oh, and on the way home, while we were sitting waiting to pull up on the interstate, on one of the overpasses I could see into, somebody rear-ended the other in traffic, and they gotten out where they were like decking each other. They were like straight up punching each other. I just couldn't stop laughing because I was probably delirious from exhaustion. Look, man, I'm a healer. I'm not a judge. So I just like...
Well, that's insane. But yeah, we had a good conversation. That'll be coming up.
I can't wait to hear it or
in
see it,
October.
actually.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about asexuality. And so it's a topic that's not talked about a lot, and a lot of people just don't know a lot about it. And there's like a lot of misconceptions about it.
So, yeah, and I have no idea what was said when the idea was tossed around. David agreed to do it, and I very much was like, I don't think I should be there. I think, because obviously, his and I's relationship is got to be a focal point of that. That's a curiosity I get a lot of in my DMs. So I thought it would be so much better to have you and David just talk it out without me present, because I don't need to be there for that. And also, I kind of excited just for like something totally different.
Yeah, we even played a game. We played a game, Steakhouse or Gay Bar, which can be a fun one.
Oh. Wow.
It's definitely harder than you would imagine. Like, some of them are pretty like, oh.
Was it weird recording with just David? I mean, you and I have been recording together on average 2 to 4 times a week for a couple of years now. And we had Johnny Apollo here. We had Bree visit. David has sat down with us once. We had Eric on. So we've had a couple of guests, but on the whole, I've always been here for all of them. So this is the first time you recorded a complete interview without me. What did you think?
I thought it went well. It was like one take. There was no mistakes. We didn't pause and stop. We were like, bam, bam. No, it was really good.
Actually, ever since we went to this program, we almost never have to stop unless there's an internet issue. Mm-hmm. Thank God.
The old way. I think I think that's what one of the things too. Like once we played the game, it also relaxed David a little bit because obviously, if you're like hurrying and you're sitting down, and no matter who it is, if you're like going to be interviewed or talk to someone about a topic, uh, you can be a little bit like nervous or just like because you
Right.
don't know what's being asked, and so like playing a
Yeah.
game really
Yeah.
relaxes
And
people.
true to Tacoma Cast form, we did not provide him any sort of reference beforehand. We were just like, I remember asking, I was like, "Do you mind talking on the podcast about asexuality?" And he just stared at me, and he's like,
Well, it's also it's like it's not like you want to come on and talk about the cats. It can be a very personal
"Yeah,
topic,
yeah," and
and
we're
so
laughing, but not at that. Like, it's just in general,
yeah,
like, we talk about everything on here, and I, but most, I was telling David, I was like, people like to hear him talk. People are always curious. Um, Whenever I think about posts that make my phone just melt, um, when I actually look at notifications, it's always one involving David or something. David, I had a back and forth, or David centric. So, which
hmm
is fine. I love showing him to the world, and I want the world to see him. But obviously, we have different interactions with Twitter. But can we just talk about when he arrived on gay Twitter, when he decided he didn't want to be in a non-account anymore, and he started just posting himself, and it was just like,
everyone was like, "Oh my
do you know
gosh,"
how many DMs I got? Like,
probably a
wait,
lot.
that's your husband? And I was like, yes, that is my human. That is husband unit. That is husband unit.
um, so Matt, real quick, I'll give you like two or three of the little things. We don't want to give it all away, but so
Okay.
same thing for you. We're gonna do like a real quick. This is what I asked David on steakhouse or gay bar. So you have to
Okay.
choose one. Okay. Woody's. Is it a
Steakhouse.
steakhouse?
What?
It's a gay bar. Okay. Cut.
Oh, come on. Now I'm unsure if I saw. I swear I've been to a Woody's barbecue or something. Um, I'm gonna have to go. Oh, God, it's probably a steakhouse. But I'm gonna say gay bar because LOL. But cut a steak. Yeah, it's a steakhouse.
Okay. The Velvet Hammer.
Come on. um, Gay bar.
Velvet Hammer. Gay bar, you said?
Yeah.
It's a steakhouse. Hey, you want to go to the Velvet Hammer? Got to get some meat. And then I'll do one more. The Loading Zone.
I'll say gay bar. Oh yay! I'm 1 for 4.
But it was fun. It was a lot of fun. But also this week on the podcast, we talked about Little Nas X and
Yeah.
just kind of talking about him being a really big success and like really just being himself. And kind of like when you look at people throughout pop culture and music, we've only had in recent times maybe like a Madonna or a David Bowie who is authentically themselves, authentically open, and authentically open with their sexuality. Because a lot of musicians hold back a lot of things or don't show certain things. And I think we were talking about how it's a really good thing for young people to see somebody that they could admire, to grow up looking and watching and seeing someone just being themselves, being normal, and it's just a part of his life, their life, and everyday life. Um, so that was an exciting conversation that we did have. That if you didn't check it out or you didn't hear it yet, be sure and go watch it.
Cody had a lot
Because
of
it's pretty
feelings.
good. I mean, it's
Cody
Little Nas
loves the world.
X.
Well, you have a lot. You are very much like you love celebrities. You love the royals. You know what I mean? Like, so
I do love.
celebrity pop culture and this is very you. Like you really, it was a topic that I'm glad we got to do. Um, I love Lil Nas X. I just love him.
I
Whew.
mean, what's not to love, right? Of course, this is one of
Oh,
his newest music
I love how
videos.
his undies say Montero on them. Did you notice
I
that?
didn't even see that. I will say that he don't rip the condom with your teeth.
No, never do that, by the way.
Despite him doing it in the video. That should
I
just
mean,
be...
it always seems like a hot idea, but no, never do it with your teeth because you could damage the condom.
Yeah.
It would have been funny if he had like if I haven't seen the whole video, but have a little thing of lube next to the tent, because if you saw Brokeback Mountain, one of the things that caused a lot of stress to people was like, so they did that was just spit. He really broke down the gates, breaking barriers and walls.
I mean, maybe they
But
happen to have coconut
I do
oil on
totally
hand.
adore him, but at the same time, like it's just something I think you enjoy a lot, and because you spent so much time in the world of media, you know, you've seen a lot of things happen, and you've seen a lot of things pass through studios. And I also think that when you see these things happen, that you're like, oh, I know exactly what kind of story I would do for this, or how many seconds of this I would put on TV. So I was like, oh, this is very Cody. And you can also tell when you're watching our podcast, or if you're watching us live, there is a certain, like, Cody has a body, like, his body language is very there. And it's like he's in his own awesome world. And this is not a complaint. It's just fun to see Cody be excited.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like if you would have, when I was producing TV, obviously I chose all of the stories that we did. So any story that the anchors read, any stories that were done, I exclusively chose. And so,
sure you still do that now, babe.
Yes, but just imagine that on a scale of, like, 100,000 plus people watching.
Cody,
and only
I just don't think we should do this. I'm a god. This is kind of how I meant.
Like, so back in the day, like, I loved High School Musical, and like the third High School Musical came out. We had like a whole segment on High School Musical on the morning show. But I will say it is good to do that, because again, in the morning show, you have a lot of kids watching because they're getting ready for school and their parents have the TV on and they always want to tune in and see their birthday or whatever, set on TV.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And so we always had that available. There are some news headlines, of course. They're real quick. In Arizona, the Republicans confirmed that Joe Biden won. Just in case anybody was confused, the Republicans themselves were like, okay, he did win.
Okay, so I saw a tweet earlier that said every time Joe Biden wins Arizona, an angel gets its wings, and like, it shouldn't be funny. I don't know what else to do besides laugh. It's like, oh my god, there was literally a whole fucking coup attempt at this. Okay.
Yeah, it's like, whew. And then also, of course, Donald Trump is suing his niece because the tax returns. Basically, now those tax returns are true now that he's suing her, saying that she released them. And her response was basically, he's a fucking loser.
Oh, God.
I love that one, because
guys, I need you to write in and tell us that you like that Cody finally dropped the F-bomb, because I almost never hear you say it.
I had to. I mean,
I need like a
you want a sound effect for that?
I know you have your sound effects, but I feel like if I had a custom soundboard, my sound effects would be really different. They'd have to be like the sounds I make, which I hear playback sometimes, and I'm like, oh, why? I
am going to start pulling some of your sound things. Real quick, though, when we were talking about Lil Nas X, we talked about Billy Ray Cyrus being on Old Town Road, but we had said, I had said, instead of saying Billy Ray Cyrus, I said Miley Cyrus's dad, because I feel like a lot of people before that didn't know who Billy Ray Cyrus was, unless you watch Hannah Montana. But outside of that, you're like, well, who is Billy Ray Cyrus? Oh, it's Miley Cyrus's dad. But we talked about how when we were growing up, the song that was on everything was this one.
Oh, no.
Don't tell my heart, my achy, breaky heart. I just don't think you'd understand. And if you tell my heart, my achy, breaky
I
heart,
can't hear this.
he might blow up and kill this man.
Anyways, that was everywhere back in the day.
You could not escape it. I think it made me gay. I think it made me gay.
Probably.
Like, do you know why I have to have my hair cut every 4 weeks? Because if I don't, it tries to grow itself into a mullet because I heard that song in my formative years.
Oh, that's right. Billy Cyrus with the mullet.
He had the mullet back then.
The mullet's back in style. The mullet's back in style.
Well, that doesn't make it right, Cody.
I kind of had a semi-mullet when I moved to San Diego. It was like, it wasn't a full like square. It was more like V-shaped in the back, but it did come down. I'll have to see if I have some photos of that.
So
but Justin reminded me of that the other day.
I got my hair cut earlier today, and the lady cutting my hair is also a millennial. And we were talking about, basically the younger generation, the hearing, I was born in the wrong decade. And I'm like, you weren't. Please do bigger and better things. Be better. Be better than us. I was like, and then I was like, because, the whole Gen Z making fun of millennial side parts. And I was like, oh, you think a middle part's so great? Just do what the middle of your hairline looks like in a few years. And the first time you get a massive sunburn.
Or that was really popular also, bangs that went like here and they were perfectly straight on girls.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I remember that.
I think we need to do a whole episode talking about everything that we went through when we were younger.
Yeah, you know what? Let's pull a top 25 90s list and talk about it. I think that would be way more fun than the news because everything has been horrible for like 5 years. So honestly, since I turned 22. So sometimes it's nice to talk about things that aren't the news.
One thing that I am excited about, and this is good push, I think, Amazon is lobbying the federal government to legalize weed. We know when Amazon gets on board and is lobbying, and now we have lobby people doing it as big as Amazon, that it could happen. They did announce that they are lobbying the federal government to pass a bill that would deschedule and tax weed, making it federally legal in states that haven't already legalized cannabis. The company, Amazon, said it would continue to support legislation that would expunge marijuana offenses, which is a big and a good thing, from people who have been previously convicted of those cannabis-related crimes, which is ridiculous. Now, since Amazon stopped screening new hires for cannabis use, applications for some positions have increased as much as 400%.
Yeah, so 7 people are now trying to work for Amazon.
So I think this is a good thing. I think this is what will get things moving. A big companies moving to say, hey.
Speaking of billionaires and such, did you hear about Elon Musk?
Multiple things. I did see something that him and his girlfriend have broken up.
Right.
His baby mama.
So and their aptly named child. So does that mean they're going to be co-parenting R2-D2? Or is it pronounced like Henry or something? I don't know. This is nothing against the kid, but please don't name
I really don't know the kid's name. It's like X2JK.
Who looked at that and thought that was a good idea? Like, this kid is not going to make it through to 5th grade without being called C-3PO at least once. Probably by me. And, of course, wait, here comes all the hateful comments of like, I can't believe you're talking shit about a kid. Oh, my feelings. Yeah, the kid's fine. But
so it's not R2-D2, but you were very close, Matt.
Oh God.
I'm going to put it at the bottom of the screen. This is actually his name. That is Elon Musk's son's name.
Is there a pronounce how on Google you can have it pronounced? I just want to hear Siri say it.
Let's see how to pronounce. I'm gonna have to look this up. I don't know how to pronounce it. Ash. He identified the second character as Ash. I don't know. Maybe so. I guess they're calling the baby Ash.
Okay. Well,
and so it's like XA Ash. XA Ash. XA Ash, come here. XA Ash.
All right. Well, fun. Sorry for
I
derailing that
mean,
one, but I was gonna send it to you, but I
well,
have either
yeah,
had my face in a book or I've been recording all afternoon because I was recording with Clint and an episode we recorded. Well, the poor guy was sick. I came up with the idea for him, and his son accidentally unplugged the power while we were recording. So we plugged it
oh
back in,
dear.
retested, kept going. Everything was fine, and we went to edit it, and the file was corrupted. So we recorded it today. I literally hung up, clicked over, called in, and you like hit the timer. You hit like test and hit the timer.
Yeah, I also Elon Musk, he was trolling Biden this week because of a snub over his inspiration launch where they had launched the civilians into space. Biden, I guess, didn't say anything, and so it made
Do we like this
Elon
color
Musk
better?
upset.
I changed colors. Do we like this better?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
let's go with that color.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go with this color. Anyway,
Uh,
continue.
Here's a fun one, Matt. So there's this group called Moms for Liberty. So anytime you have a name like that, you know that things are going to be
Here we go. Yeah.
interesting. Well, so they have decided that they want to demand a school censor books because of a drawing of a seahorse is too sexy. Uh, the book, The Seahorse, the Shyest Fish in the Sea, dares to show two seahorses holding tails or touching bellies as it describes the animal's unusual mating ritual. They said that it's too sexy for kids. They do say that it is appropriate for 8th grade and above, but 8th
It's
grade and below, no. No
You ever ride a bus in
seahorse,
middle school? Oh my god.
the Shyest Fish. Also, they are objecting to a book about Johnny Appleseed, the folklore hero, they say, who planted apple trees across the Midwest. They say, no, get that off the shelves. The kids can't have that because the story is too sad and dark.
Do these people have like immortal children? Are their children immortal and offended by like mortality? Oh my goodness.
Like the seahorses, like, okay, that's just science, first of all. And I'm sure this book, The Seahorse, the Shy Fish, does not go into extreme detail. It's probably just very surface level. Hey, these little fish are so cute and whatever. I doubt that there's anything crazy. Like, how can you hate on
A seahorse.
seahorse?
How do you?
Like, you're so
My
cute.
favorite is like, do you really sit down with your family at dinner? I can't imagine if we sat down at dinner and David was like, "So, I complained about a sexy seahorse today." Can you just picture my face? Like, imagine what I would say. The hell is wrong with me for marrying you if that's what you? Oh Lord.
Yeah, it's
This is why-
what?
This is why those relationships, why the guys are like have like accounts at like Ashley Madison. This is why.
Yep.
I wasn't gonna make
Yep.
a gay joke here. This is why they're banging other people on the side because they can't.
Moms for
that.
Moms for Liberty, everybody.
Oh my god.
Winter Olympics coming up, Matt, and
yeah.
the new year.
Considering it was 100 degrees the other day, let's talk about winter for 5 minutes because I don't like being cold.
Yeah.
Yeah, 5 minutes.
Hopefully, y'all don't freeze this year again. So it's going to be stricter this year because of COVID, even more so than Tokyo. And they haven't announced all the safeguards, but of course, China is going to probably be pretty rigid on what is allowed and what is not allowed. And if you want to come, you're going to have to follow those rules. But I was excited also to see this week the U.S. Olympic Committee has said that everyone that is participating, whether you're going or you're at the trials, and then all people surrounding that, so like coaches and support staff, everybody has to be vaccinated or you can't participate in trials and you cannot participate and go to the Olympics, which I thought is a good thing. I thought they should have had it for Japan, but now that it's approved, I guess they're like, hey, everybody get it. So you're not going to have any of those crazy people like that swimmer who would just disregarded everybody's health. None of that's going to be allowed, which is good. Ban them. Now this one, Matt. this had some internet buzzing yesterday. It was released. There was like a Nintendo event, and
Yeah.
are
So
you
there
a
are some things from
fan?
that event I'm super excited about, but I've been hesitant to discuss it because you're not really into games, so I don't, really get into it much.
Well,
Much like my weird Olympic knowledge, I also have I'm a gamer.
gaming knowledge.
Yeah,
So
I do.
they,
I'm a whole person. I have other thoughts.
you have other things.
Look,
He's all
I'm
around.
hungry because we ordered food and it was supposed to be here, and I was trying to eat it on the, before the show started. My order was missing.
Oh my gosh! Today?
Yeah,
Okay, got everybody. Every time we're about to record or we have recorded, there is a food issue, a food delivery issue.
So we thought it was David's. We thought David's was missing. I ran downstairs, opened mine up, and it was still warm. And I'm like, this isn't right. So I handed it to David. And he goes, "Oh God, this one's mine." I'm like, "That's fine. I'll just eat." I mean, I had enough time. I didn't need a lot of time to eat. I just needed to eat something because my schedule fell into place very last minute, and it's dinner time when we record this. So
y'all have a food delivery problem though.
It's always something, and so
it's always something.
And now I'm like, no, don't go to McDonald's and get 7 things off the menu because I'm finally trimming down in my stomach a bit, and I don't. It always makes me feel kind of to eat fast food, but man.
Well, wasn't last time McDonald's there was an illness?
That was 2 times ago. And it was
2 times ago. Okay.
The same weekend Luna was very sick. I was not well either for 2 days, and neither was Keith. Keith and David and I all were, and we all got different things too. So I think it was whoever was handling maybe wasn't practicing proper hand hygiene or changing gloves, because that's very important.
Yeah.
This is why you pay people enough to take care of your food. Pay them.
I am excited to get your thoughts on this. So Super Mario, a cast was announced. They're turning it into it's not a live action. It is a cartoon movie. There's actors that they've chosen to voice those characters. And there's a general overall issue that some people have, but the biggest was Chris Pratt is going to be voicing Mario.
And I don't...
Mario!
Can you just imagine him saying that?
God. Yes, and I'm already mad at him. Somebody made a good point the other day. It's like, why are we not having actual voice actors play these characters? And I don't know. One of my favorite movies, comfort movies, actually has Chris Pratt in it. I just happen to like the movie. He just happens to be in it. It's not because I like Chris Pratt. But I'm just like, okay, really? Why? We couldn't have gotten... How?
So yeah, we have Chris Pratt's going to be playing Mario. Charlie Day, which I think he'll be great as this character, Luigi. Keegan-Michael Key is going to be playing Toad. Anya Taylor-Joy is playing Peach. Visually, I think she's perfect for Peach. Jack Black for Bowser, which I think is a good casting, and Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong, which I think also is probably good casting. Some people also brought up, as far as Mario and Luigi, that we couldn't get an Italian actor or a voice actor.
They are literally Italians, but okay.
But now that I see the photo, I think Anya Taylor-Joy is perfect for Peach. Jack Black and Seth Rogen. Everyone on the right, I think, is perfect casting. Chris Pratt, I don't know. Chris Pratt. So, of course, I love Hollywood. I love celebrity. I love everything about that. And when I go to San Francisco, I've done stories and visited the house for Mrs. Doubtfire and the Full House house. Well, now the Conjuring House is for sale. Would you ever, if you had the money, obviously, purchase the Conjuring House and live in it?
Okay. Well, I've been dying to discuss this for years. So the actual house is not anywhere near the house that you see in The Conjuring. Okay, for one. So the real house, the current owners never reported any issues whatsoever. There was definitely now the Perron family stands by their claims, but they in reality claim that the Warrens made it worse. The real life Warrens made the problem worse, and it was not the happy ending you see in the movie where Mrs. Perron is freed from this demon by a very heroic Mrs. Warren, and played by Vera Farmiga, who Vera Farmiga is amazing in it. But the real farming, as you can see, the real house is a lot less, a lot more charming looking. Now, would I buy it? Like that one? Sure. I like the remote location. I like the, I think it's charming. I'm not saying I dispute their account because, if something happened to them, that might have been just specific to them. And so, and they remained in the house for a very long time after as well.
Yeah.
So
It's a very cute little property.
Yeah. Like I would love something like that. That I would really, my hope is, wherever we move next to be able to have some kind of like space to have a garden and stuff like that.
So this video that you're seeing on the screen. So this is the video that's playing that has been created for Sotheby's, who is selling the house. And so realtors make videos of the house. This is the video they made to sell this house, which is very creative because they do have flashes of horror, flashes of ghosts in the house. The house is going for sale for about $1.2 million.
I wonder if people who have that kind of money have that kind of sense of humor. Now, I'm not all about moving into like a full-on cursed house or anything, but I don't really. I don't know. Yeah.
The one thing also this house does remind me of, though, is that season of American Horror Story, Roanoke.
Yes. Okay.
So that's a little creepy.
Did you like Roanoke?
I didn't finish it. So I think I got 3 or 4 episodes in. I know. I got 3 or 4 episodes in, and I didn't
all these
dislike
things
it. I know a lot of people,
you're not obsessed with. Can you be obsessed with commitment, Cody?
I like the episodes that I saw. I know a lot of people didn't like.
It was a very hated season. I think there were some aspects about the season I really disliked. I just was like, ugh, really? But I thought it was fun. I thought it touched on a lot of histories and some fascinations and curiosities. I was excited to see momentarily Thaisa Farmiga back in the series for a little bit. She is the younger sister of Vera Farmiga, who plays Lorraine Warren in the Conjuring series. And so that was, that was one of those, like, when I watched it, she appeared later in the season. So it was like, and that one, some of the storyline I loved, and other parts of it I just really, I grew tired of very quickly. But the history storyline of the house and the area, I really liked that storyline because they kind of did a show within a show, and Trixie Mattel appeared on the series on that season, as Trixie Mattel, which was just pretty great. So I was pleasantly surprised when I got to the end and saw that. And I was like, oh, this is so fun.
There's been some drag queens appearing on this latest season as well.
I have not,
I believe, or at least filmed.
Access to this season. I'll have to check because I really want to watch it. Because Macaulay Culkin's on it, and if you watched our game of Smash or Pass, I said but I think he's a fantastic actor. I'm just not interested in banging him. Cody said Smash. Spoiler alert. You could call that a teaser. He's like, I did.
So I think, I don't know if it's aired yet, but Chad Michaels did film something that will be in this season.
Oh, really?
Chad,
I love Chad Michaels.
Yeah, and Chad Michaels, of course,
impression.
is
So funny.
is based here in San Diego, and so he's always performing each week at the local gay bar here. We want to in the future have him on.
I would love to have Chad Michaels on. Oh my gosh. I think what would have to
Our
happen, you have to
dream.
record the episode without me, because I would just be, I don't fangirl often, but I just thought Chad Michaels was hilarious. And, you know, it was just one of those things. It's just like several of the queens that, you know, are just awesome. I think I just like watching their work, and they're great artists. So it's just like, oh, how cool, you know, like,
crossing our fingers. Hopefully,
crossing our fingers. That is one of our
come.
hopes. The Chad Michaels visit our humble podcast. Hey, Queen, if you're listening.
Yes, Queen.
So
what I thought my voice sounded like at 12.
is
Yes, Queen.
I had saved his clip on TikTok, and it said, what was it? It was like a thing that had for like kids, and this mother had recorded the TikTok video, and the kid, it was like some kind of like homework, and it was like in a daddy bear voice, say this sentence. And so I guess it's like, you know, like the three bears kind of thing. Mama bear, baby bear, papa bear. But then she went and played how her daughter was trying to be Papa Bear, the daddy bear voice. It was so funny.
I was like, is there a clip?
Because I'll have to pull it next time. But it really is kind of like this one.
Yes, Queen.
Just like trying to be as low as possible.
Like trying so hard to
Yas,
the voice.
Queen.
I can't even go that low. So I was running errands earlier, and then I saw like an alert talking about drama on The View today.
Yes,
and I was like,
I did see that. I actually
what drama?
So when they returned for a segment, they had found that I believe it was Sunny and Anna Navarro were told immediately to leave the set, and it was right before a Kamala Harris interview. And so
this is kind of what went down. So being from TV, this is The View is live. This is pretty. It must have been pretty hectic, I will say, if you're like a producer. And when we show the clip,
is this like your worst nightmare?
It would be totally. And like,
well,
so
because production costs are expensive, right? So that's something actually, play the clip, because I want to talk to you about that specifically when we come back.
Okay, so this is today on The View. This is live exactly as it happened.
Two of you to step off for a second.
Okay. Anna and
we're going to bring
Sunny
you back later.
have to leave.
Yeah. Yes.
And we'll tell you why.
More information later. It's a tease.
We'll tell you why in a couple of minutes. So shall I introduce the vice president?
Yes.
Okay. So, vice president, no.
Nope.
Okay. Shall we dance? Let's do a tap dance.
Let's do a tap dance.
Since this is going to be a major news story any minute now, what happened is that Sunny and Anna both apparently tested positive for COVID. No matter how hard we try, these things happen. They probably have a breakthrough case, and they'll be okay, I'm sure, because they're both vaccinated up the wazoo, a lot of vaccines. So,
right. So that happens. And so, like they said, they did the right thing. They just tried to start quarantining immediately and being careful. And what I wanted to ask you about specifically, Cody, is, we see a lot of disruptions. And one of the reasons I'm so flippant on here when things go wrong is we don't have a production cost, because we don't work with a crew. This is entirely Cody and I's time. And as long as one of us is available for the other, we're good. Now, in these situations, what people don't see is you have all these crew members, set directors, you have God knows what going on behind the scenes that even a live audience wouldn't see. So let's talk about like the cost, like, what a minute of TV time costs to have, and we're not talking about some public access channel. This is 4 highly paid people sitting on the dais here, not to mention the camera crew and everybody in the immediate, orb here. What kind of nightmare would this be for you if you were standing there making that call to no, don't talk about that yet. Yes, you need to leave. And
Well,
who is
yeah,
getting fired?
What makes it more dramatic, I guess, is that the vice president was going to be on. So it's not just like a normal everyday guest. It was the vice president. So there's going to be a heightened level of even more like making sure everything is going according to plan. In this case, it seems that they knew that there was a test that had been done, maybe. I'm sure they're actually tested daily, probably.
Probably. We're being tested weekly at school.
Yeah,
every Monday,
like I
we have to
know
go in.
there. I know people who are involved in like the theater world, Broadway world, entertainment, and Hollywood world, and many times these people are tested at least minimally weekly, but many times people are tested daily, and on sets. You have like bands. So used to, if you were like audio or camera crew, whatever, everyone has access everywhere on set and doing everything. Since COVID happened, everybody has usually some bands or some kind of marker on their lanyards that allows them into different levels. So there can be several levels that people are allowed into. And so in this case, that would be the case. I think they were tested. So they were on the first segment. During the commercial break, Sunny and Anna left and went backstage. Then they came back on stage. They started this segment, and then what happened then is what happened. So it was kind of weird that they went off and then they came back on to do the show.
They might have done the
then
rapid test.
So in this case, it's pretty crazy because it's like fly on the seat of your pants kind of moment where like the producers are like, yeah, go ahead and or go ahead and get ready to go to the interview with Kamala. And then all of a sudden, like, they're like, no, no, we're not going. And then ultimately, the vice president's interview was done remotely. I'm guessing she may have been on set on the property at ABC, and they just put her in a different room and did like basically like a satellite type interview. But it's crazy. And then everybody in the audience was held in the audience for like 30 or 40 minutes. And then afterwards, they were each given a rapid test or given some kind of information to go get tested free of charge because they had obviously been in the audience. They were in the audience. You have to wear masks, but because there could have been some kind of
right, something's literally something happened. So clearly,
so crazy kind of situation to happen, especially not smoothly, like that. And normally they would tell each other in their they normally tell each other in their IFBs, and no one would hear. But I guess it was such a sudden, like, quick, like, moment, and because I think they were about to bring the vice president out, that there was like, and again, it's live, so everything hits, and like commercial breaks sometimes have to hit exactly at a exact time, and so it would have been crazy.
So this would have been like your worst nightmare, standing there, especially with somebody like the VP coming on.
Yeah, it would have been a nightmare because you probably planned a week or more for this episode. And like when you're producing something, you want it to go perfectly and smoothly. And then to have something like that happen totally throws out everything that you planned for. And then basically you're recreating the show in a second. But at the same time, it's exciting because it gives you a lot of adrenaline and it makes you think quick and on your feet. And that's also the fun thing about live TV. So it would be kind of a mixed thing. Like I would be so frustrated that it happened, but also so excited because it's like,
Cody,
oh my gosh, let's do this. Oh my gosh. Only if you don't listen to me. But yeah, that was crazy. We'll obviously, I'm sure they'll be fine since they are vaccinated, and we'll see what happens if any new precautions come into effect next week for The View. And then, of course, Whoopi was not there.
I hope they're fine. My aunt is currently recovering from COVID. She is vaccinated. She she had a recover from some other serious illnesses in the last few years. One of my cousins had got it. He also vaccinated. You know, he had a pretty minor case, and then she got it. And she said, other than chemo, she has never been so sick in her life. And that's vaccinated. You know, so I'm really, really glad she's vaccinated because this could have been so much worse.
Yeah, for
And she's been
sure.
sick for over a week. And she said she's on the road to recovery now. So I just like, I'm so glad you're okay. But oh my gosh, you know.
Yeah, I did see one thing before coming on that that oral medication or stuff to treat COVID. There's like 4 medicines, and they're very helpful for those. And they're in the trial period right now, but they're very, very helpful for those. And we could, if everything continues on its plan and process in the new year, those could be very beneficial and really help to like subside it here, at least in the United States. And then also the CDC, real quick. The CDC today, the CDC head actually overrode the committee at the CDC and allowing anybody 65 and older to get a booster shot, a Pfizer if you had the Pfizer shot, and people who are healthcare workers or in close contact with people who may have COVID, industries that require that. So maybe teachers as well. She did override that because the CDC committees did not allow healthcare workers to get the booster, which was kind of weird.
Which is just freaking weird. Yeah, I'm pretty sure my classmates and I are going to have to go do it. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to do it. I'm going to try to get it on a Wednesday because I'm off of school from Wednesday to Sunday when I go to my actual clinical site, because I go to the hospitals and I'm going to be at the hospitals. And I think where I'm going, we're not allowed to handle COVID patients, but you're obviously in contact with people who are very close contact. And all my patients, I believe, will be elderly. So, you know, it's a situation where you want to protect your patients. You want to protect yourself, and you can protect your patients best by protecting yourself.
Yeah.
And also because, you know, I could accidentally get sick, bring it home. You know, there's a lot more risk because I'm the one that's going out, and David starts clinicals in January. So, you know, there's a lot going on here, and we want to make sure that we're just doing all the right things. But so with that, can you believe it? It's been just about an hour. I think just over an hour now.
Yeah. We have come to the end of the show here. We thank all of you for joining us, for being here.
Don't have
also,
anything to tell us that you're talking about? You always have something. You're always got something cooking. Because I've got one, and it's a
oh my goodness. Yeah, so I think this week I'm just kind of like, it's nice that it's raining today, so that's nice. We have nothing planned today. No Friday like events. I'm not going out anywhere, so it's going to be more relaxing. We're going to go get our burritos. Great British Bake Off. The new season is out. It's on Netflix, so I'm really excited to see the very first episode because we love watching that. So we'll probably keep getting the burrito, doing that. And then coming up next week on Thursday, we're going to be seeing Alanis Morissette in concert. So that's going to be really exciting. So those are some things that I'm really loving and looking forward to. So yeah, this is kind of my break Friday. You know, it's been like this and this and this and
I
this.
noticed that we started right on time. So when I planned it out with Clint to schedule this in, it was either going to be tonight or this weekend, and I just can't this weekend. I have too much school stuff to do. So I would rather, because all the assignments I have are due Sunday night, and I really want to finish them tonight and tomorrow. I don't like, with nursing school, I try to be done with everything a day, 1 to 3 days before. It just, there's just so much to do, and you cannot rush it. You just can't. There's too much to read, click through. Yeah. So the thing that's got me talking is, did you see the news about Elvira, Mistress of the Dark?
Oh my gosh. I meant to put it in the show. No, I did see the news.
Or do you want to talk about it on the podcast on Wednesday?
We can do both.
Oh, you know what? We'll do both.
We can.
So, Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, who is a longstanding champion for the LGBTQ community, has come out, and she posted a picture of herself and her partner, and they've been together for 19 years, and it was just really exciting. And I thought that was pretty great. And if
I
you're
love
wondering why I
Elvira.
haven't said her name, it's because my brain totally blanked out. I can't remember her real name.
It's just
I'm really-
Elvira.
No, she's got a real name, and I'm going to look it up because I was literally just reading it.
Cassandra Peterson.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Well,
Like,
first of all,
total brain fart.
I think it's crazy that she is 70 years old. She does
looks
not look 70.
amazing. I love her look. I love her Elvira look. And we just watched it again. We just watched the movie, I think during quarantine at one point. We were just laughing so hard. I think it was one of the first movie that she did. And just, I loved her slapstick humor and how fun she was. And,
You know,
she was like a dark Midwest.
I'm so upset that I never got to see her. So, like, she used to perform at Knott's Berry Farm here in Southern California at Halloween. She did a show at Knott's Berry Farm. I think 1 or 2 shows every night for the entire Halloween season. And she did this year after year after year after year. She stopped doing it 2 years ago, I think. Of course, last year was COVID. Nothing happened. But the year before was the first year without her. But her show is always so amazing. There's video clips you can look up online, her Elvira at Knott's Berry Farm show. But she would always do huge, big dance numbers. But there would also be, there would be several people that I knew who were dancers, and they would come on. And so she'd have these male dancers with like basically harness type, black harness outfits going on, you know, fitting her vibes, leather / Halloween / sexy kind of feel. And they there would be a whole scene where like water would be pouring down on all the male dancers.
Goodness.
I'm so upset I didn't get to see it though, because I think she's pretty fun and amazing. But yeah, I was so happy for her when I saw that.
Really confirms my weird sexuality, which we'll do a whole episode on another year.
You know, maybe we need to try to get her on the show.
Oh my god. Okay, I would actually just gay die right then. Like, R.I.P. me. Like, literally, we would have to do Elvira like
the
costumes.
history.
We would have to do Elvira costumes. It would just be the requirement.
Yeah.
Like,
well, happy for her. We'll talk more about her. And then I'll pull the clip so everybody can see the clip of her show.
Yeah, we'll do it
on her show
when we record the next episode. That when I've had enough sleep, I'm laughing, but I'm 100% serious.
We'll have to have David plug Matt back in, recharge him.
Yeah. When you forget to plug in your Matt, that's
you
been
get nothing.
Like all week. I think Thursday. I don't know what today is. Friday. Yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
So I literally posted a picture yesterday, put the wrong date. Nobody said anything until one of my mutuals commented and were like, Matt, I know when nursing school's rough, but today's Thursday. I was like, like, oh God. And then I didn't remember when I took the picture, so I had to go check the timestamp, and oh well. But yeah, that's actually been real life. I finally, yesterday was the first morning I've been home and I wasn't immediately nose deep in something in, I think, 2.5 weeks, like straight. So, well,
everybody, we're gonna let Matt go so he can like get some food, plug back in, get some rest, relax a little bit. We thank all of you for joining us. We thank you for listening. If you're watching the replay, we know a lot of you actually do listen to the audio version of this afterwards. So we thank you for that. Of course, you can always join us live every Friday at 5 o'clock. We'll be back again next Friday at 5 o'clock for more stories, more fun, and more Elvira. We'll have clips of Elvira next week. Obviously, because next week is October 1st, I believe. Next Friday will be October 1st. So we'll get our little spookiness starting to go on.
You guys will be really excited. Cody and I are meeting. Hopefully we're meeting this weekend if we have time to plan out what we want to do for Halloween. So
it's upon us.
Are we going to be wearing costumes? Maybe. Who can say?
Well, you'll know soon.
Yeah, it's actually pretty soon. Cody, I think you should go as Elvira. You should be Elvira. You look great with a huge rack. Come on. You just know it.
That would be fun.
That'd be hilarious. But everyone, have a good night. Feel free to follow us on our socials. I'm the Poetic NS on Twitter. And if you want to follow my Snapchat, I'm not saying it out loud because I've gotten some really creepy messages on Snapchat. Send a message, just like DM me, and I'll give it to you. Yeah, I've gotten some weird
Yeah,
messages.
we don't want that.
Cody's laughing at me. He always laughs at me when this happens to me.
You can also follow us, of course, if you are on all of our socials at Coma Podcast on Facebook, the Coma Cast on Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. And of course, you can follow me on my socials at Cody Rodriguez and also on TikTok and YouTube at John Cody Rodriguez. I have some really fun, spooky cocktails coming up next week because it's Halloween season. It's here. And we're going to be doing all of that. So, again, we thank you all for joining us, and we will see you with a new podcast episode coming out this coming Wednesday. And again, back here Friday at 5 o'clock Pacific for our live show. Bye, everybody.
Bye.